Welcome to another Nights with Ricky episode. I'm your host, Ricky Reeves. And tonight I'm going to talk about semen retention. To me, semen retention is very important. It's something that is very overlooked, especially in every man's life. And I think if they really focus on semen retention, like a lot of things can really happen for them for the better. So I'm going to get into it. The background about semen retention is, I came across it because, just having sex education and stuff like that, you come across different kinds of subjects that you probably never will hear about. And semen retention is very, very interesting. It's probably one of the most interesting subjects I've ever learned about sex, period. And when you retain your semen instead of, when if you have an ejaculation, you're wasting semen. If you're not creating life, you're pretty much wasting semen. That's what you're doing. But a lot of people don't know what semen really is. Semen is very spiritual, and semen is, it's the force of life, period. You know, you need that to create life, period. And I just personally believe, a lot of, semen, it has such a spiritual significance. And a lot of people take it for granted. That's why I always say you can't just say sex is just sex because it's not. It is a lot of things going on in that whole process. And I noticed something about semen retention that you can be like your best. Well, I think you can potentially be your best person that you were meant to be if you're able to retain your semen and use it at the right time instead of the wrong time. For instance, so let's say if you're like you got a good job, like you just started or you just got a job, just got a job, got hired or whatever. You want to make sure that you're like really, really focused and that you're going to do everything right, what you need to do. And you know, usually this can get all corrupted, if you want to have sex. It can easily get corrupted. And if your mind is on a woman and not your job, you're gonna probably end up losing that job and the woman. But if you actually focus on your job, you can keep that woman, guaranteed, because you're like having a focus and a goal. And women are attracted to men that are like focused on goals and they actually get the goals accomplished and done. That's what they really like. They of course they like a man that can have sex with all the time stuff, but they also like that man that has drive and he wants to go after something and he also has something as well. I mean, if you just have, great sex, I mean, they'll enjoy it, but eventually it's going to fade away because you're not balancing anything out. You're not going for anything. You're not striving for anything better besides that, you know. But one thing I did learn about semen retention is that when I did not ejaculate, I noticed that I was more creative. My reflexes were faster. My process was faster. I can like interpret, situations really quick. Like, and even in some cases, you might be able to know what's about to happen before it happens. You can usually see a lot of different things like that before it actually happens. And like, I just noticed that I just felt like very smarter, very stronger, I felt more energized and everything when I retained my semen and just my creativity about things and thinking about stuff to do and like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do it was just there. It was so easy. It was just easy to access. But I noticed when I did not, if I did ejaculate, it would be delayed reactions. I would have to ask somebody, what did you say? I would have to like question what they said. I would have to like really, really like, really focus a little bit more than I should and, I noticed I did, when I didn't have an ejaculation and when I retained my semen, it was just I didn't have no hesitation. I knew what I wanted to do. I got the job done, and it just all was it was very smooth and balanced. It really was. So, and this is another thing. I noticed that women they get very upset. They can get upset if a man doesn't ejaculate, if he doesn't nut, if he doesn't come when they have sex with them. And I'm thinking to myself, uh, you should not be mad about that at all, especially if it's for a long period of time. You should take advantage of that. From the stuff I be hearing about what women be saying, you should take advantage of that. I don't see why you should even be mad about that. But it's not nothing to do with you if a man just doesn't come. It's nothing. It's not gonna make you. You're not less attractive. You're not ugly. Don't be thinking of none of that. See, that's something for another video. Too much thinking can just mess up a great situation. That's what I'm saying. So just take it for what it is, pretty much. But you know, if you just like, okay, for instance, women that are watching this, I want you to take a look at your man. If you have a man right now, a husband, boyfriend, whatever, somebody you have sex with, I want you to just do a little experiment on the particular man. I want you to look at his behavior and his action, how he is when he doesn't ejaculate, and then when he does ejaculate. So you just take like 2 random days and you just say, just let's see how he acts without an ejaculation. Let's see how his thought process is. Let's see, how his conversations are. Because you're usually operating from a higher place, you know. And when you're thinking about sex and you ejaculated already, you're operating from a very low place. So it's two different things. But just very pay attention to that. Just look at how they act without an ejaculation and look how they act with an ejaculation. You're going to see a total difference in both of them. And you're going to like probably notice the weaknesses when they have ejaculated. But when they haven't ejaculated, it's hard to see their weaknesses. It's not going to show up. They're going to be really, really more focused, guaranteed. This works for every man on the planet Earth. This ain't just any type of, like a certain, only certain men get this on. No, it's every man on this planet that's ever came through this earth that will be here after this earth. It works for all of them, guaranteed. And remember one time I had went 6 months, 6 months without ejaculating. I was like so creative. I had wrote about a lot of different ideas that I want to do and that are actually coming true right now. Like, for instance, doing this podcast and stuff. I always wanted to do it, but I just never really was like having the drive for it and everything. But during that 6 months, I started like writing down what I wanted to do, my vision for it. And it's starting to happen. And it's growing and it's everything is working out and it's in its favor. So it just like let me know that this really works. And that if you're a man out there, this is like the this is like the best thing you could do. If you're looking to get a fresh start in life and you're frustrated with how things is going, trust me, you need to do this. And you'll go see things in your life just expand so beautifully. It's insane. I'm telling you right now. I wouldn't lie to you. So yeah, it's just very important to retain your semen. And like I said, I'm going to go back to what it is about it being spiritual too. Because see, if you're operating in a low place and you don't have the best emotions, your emotions is negative stuff, I personally believe you can create some evil, fucked up children. That's what I personally believe. You know, I believe whatever your emotions are, whatever you was thinking of, whatever was going through your mind, and every experiences that you were doing at that particular time in your life, and you had sex, and you ejaculated and created a child in this world, all of those emotions, everything, it'll go into them at that moment. That's why certain kids act certain different ways. They act different from their siblings. They're not going to all be the same unless they have a very consistent parent. They come from the same background. But you're not going to act the same every day. That's just impossible. There's no way you could just act the same every day. There's going to be some stuff that comes up, some things you're going to experience and everything. But that's just something I personally believe. That's why I said, if you gonna nut, better make it worth it. You better make it worth your while. I mean, you don't want to just be nutting just to nut. I mean, if you nut, you go crazy. You will go nuts. If you just nutting just to nut. Uh, so I would just advise you just retain your semen. Plain and simple. It'll take you a very, very far way. And this is just a part one of this video. There's several parts of this particular subject, but I just wanted to get a little introduction into it and give you my take on it. And it's just like I'm telling you right now, it's one of those things where it doesn't make sense to you at the moment, but trust me, it will in the long run. And like I said, you can even try this out for 3 weeks because all it takes is 3 weeks to create a habit. So every man out there for 3 weeks, just don't do that. Don't ejaculate. Don't nut. If you have sex, you don't have to nut. Just that's the motherfucking rule right there. When you have sex, you do not have to nut. That is not no fucking rule. I mean, that is not a universal rule or nothing. You do not have to do that. You are in control of your semen. You That's the best part about this. You own something in your body that can be created, and it creates life, and it does wonders. Like, so like, just for 3 weeks, just focus and not do that. Even when you have sex, even if that's what she wants, just focus and do not ejaculate, and just see how your life is, how it goes, how your mental decisions, your critical thinking and stuff like that, it comes in. Just watch the total difference than it was in the previous 3 weeks. Trust me, you're going to notice the difference. But that's just my little take on it for right now. This is part one. I'm going to do several different types of videos about this because, I mean, the subject when I first came across it, it was just like, man, so much to talk about, and there's so many layers to it. It's insane. But this is just part one. So, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'm definitely grateful for all my new subscribers. Um, and I'm looking forward to just keep, coming with content and, coming up with different ideas that come to my mind that I want to discuss. And just thank you very much to Albatross for the intro music as well. Shout out to Always Survive. Go subscribe to their channel, like, share, and subscribe all their videos. I have their channel featured on my channel, so you could just find it there. And until next time, peace.